Hi, it's Justin, and I'm back with another episode of my Broadway fan casting of non-Broadway things. Today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite shows of all time. And it's been a little bit since I've watched it. It's been a while. I should swing around getting back to it because it really is something that's really, really special to me. I've watched the whole series twice, actually, and it's in my top 3 favorite shows of all time. It's hard to figure out exactly what's number 1, but this is definitely up there. And the show I'm going to be talking about, as you probably read in the title, but I'm being coy and leading up to it and building not so dramatic effect, is How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother was such a great show, and it had such a good run, and then the ending of it was absolutely terrible. the show's a little bit, it is older now, so I'm gonna give some mild spoilers about the end of the show, but if you're watching this, I'd assume you've already seen it. Anyways, the whole show is this father telling his 2 children the story about how he met their mother, as the title of the show implies. But and as fathers do, he just goes on and 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 on. Anyway, anyways, he gets into about how all of his different relationships and girlfriends and fiance. I think Ted Mosby had like 2 or 3 fiancés throughout the course of the show. But then the last season, we finally get to meet the mother. And again, spoilers for the end of the show, she's dead. She dies. This whole 9-season arc that we've been waiting to figure out who the mother is, and we got these small clues every so often. They bring her in, she's in like 2 or 3 episodes, and she dies. They just skip over all this part of Ted Mosby finding the girl of his dreams. Excuse me. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about what I don't like about the show, because like I said, it's one of my favorites. It just had a weak ending. I am going to now cast who I think would play these characters, the 5 main characters of the show, on Broadway. To start it off, I'll go with the main character of the show. He's the straight guy. He's the one that you're rooting for. He's telling the story. He's the narrator. You know, he is the center of the show, and that's Ted Mosby. Now, like I said, you need the straight guy, and you need him to be charismatic enough to believe that he can create these relationships with his friends, his co-workers. He's got multiple girlfriends throughout the shows. So, and maybe this guy's done Broadway before, he's done musicals before, but I am casting a little bit out of the Broadway wheelhouse. He's not known as a Broadway actor. But I think Skylar Astin from Pitch Perfect would be really good as a Broadway version of Ted Mosby. Skylar Astin has that kind of everyman quality that Ted Mosby has. There's nothing inherently interesting about the Ted Mosby character. He's just surrounded by a bunch of other characters that tend to be a little bit more interesting and fun and funny. So you kind of need the straight man who is going to be able to react to the craziness of the other characters while also being engaging enough to lead the show and have it all be on his shoulders. And I think Skylar Astin is someone that would really, really be able to do that. The next person I'm going to cast is Robin. Now, again, spoilers for the show. Robin and Ted do actually end up together at the end of the show, which I wasn't thrilled with, but you could see it coming a mile away. And for the character of Robin, you need someone who's fierce, who's able to stand up for herself. You know, she doesn't take shit from people. she really is someone who is strong-willed and able to hold her own. And I'm going with an actress who I saw one time, and I think she really, really did show those qualities, at least in this one character that she played. But I'm going with Allison Luff. I saw Allison in Escape to Margaritaville, where she played the character who was just all about work, work, work at the beginning of the show, and decided to kind of let loose once she got to know Tully. But that initial quality of her as someone who's always working, someone who's determined, I think that really, really works for who Robin is as a character. So that's why I'm going with Allison Luff. Marshall. Now, Marshall is a character that I love. I just love Jason Segel to begin with, but he's just a total goofball and is someone that I can really relate to. And if, it's a toss-up between Jason Segel and Barney Stinson as to the comedy duo with Ted, because they really do bounce back and forth with each other all the time. With Marshall being Ted's best friend, you need someone who's going to be lovable and be able to be supportive to Ted, and especially seeing as they're roommates for a lot of the show, you need to find someone who's going to have a type of chemistry with the characters and who's going to be relatable with everyone, because Marshall represents everyone's best friend, right? He's the goofball that everyone has a lot of fun with and is always there for the joke and always there to lend you up and help you out. And in my opinion, I think Jonathan Groff would be a wonderful Marshall. Now, I've never seen Jonathan Groff perform live, but, I've listened to him in Hamilton, and I've listened to Little Shop of Horrors, which he's a wonderful Seymour. But I see interviews and stuff with him online, and he's an inherent goofball. He's a lot of fun, and someone that you want to just hang around with, and I think those are the qualities that make Marshall such an interesting character, and someone that people just, like I just said, he's someone you want to hang around with, so that's why I'm going Jonathan Groff. Lily! Of course, Marshall's fiance, ex-fiance again, wife. They go through a few things in the show. You need someone who is going to be able to comedically bounce off of Jonathan Groff's Marshall. And Lily has this sort of comedy where she, of course, in the show, she's a pretty small person, but she can be really strong and aggressive at times, right? She has those powerful bursts of energy and aggression. And I think that's something that Annalee Ashford would be really good at, right? Because Annalee Ashford is hysterical on her own. Just the scene of her in the John Mulaney special, The Sack Lunch Bunch, where she's just crying. She's the white lady on the street who's crying, I think was hysterical. And the performance that she gave, I didn't see it, but I listened to it in Sunday in the Park with George, is just so good that I think she'd be able to bring the type of emotional weight while also being super funny, those kind of characteristics that Lily inhabits. And finally, we all got to probably the character that's got one of the catchiest catchphrases on TV. Suit up! Right? Barney Stinson. Of course, Neil Patrick Harris. Right. I would have just said Neil Patrick Harris to go on Broadway and play Barney, but he's a little bit older now, and we're trying to stick with the age area of the other characters. And I think someone like Aaron Tveit would eat up the role of Barney Stinson, right? Of course, Aaron Tveit's a great-looking dude, and he's gonna look suave AF in a suit. But he's charismatic and charming, and it's everything that Barney Stinson is. And of course, he's someone that you could see bringing home another lady every night. And I could see him playing this kind of big-headed, powerful character that Barney Stinson is. So that's why I'm going with Aaron Tveit. Okay, thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any suggestions as to maybe this person should have played Ted instead of Skylar Astin, or you disagree with me, you agree with me, you want to let me know down in the comments. If you want to take some of the secondary characters from the show and cast them as well in the comments, I'd be happy to read those. And yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.